Riley's been in daycare while I worked. Daycare fees are expensive, and Riley gets sick almost every month, missing at least a week each time. Of course, every time she got sick, I'd beg my company to let me take emergency leave. Riley would recover quickly, but I wouldn't. Before having her, I'd get sick maybe once a year and was quite healthy, but everything changed after childbirth. At first, it was tough, so tough I can't even remember the specifics now because the days went by in such a blur. Now that Riley's 3, I finally have some breathing room. I've used up all my paid leave every year, and so has Jacob, but not for Riley.
Oh, I think I'm coming down with something too.
Whenever I got sick, Jacob would conveniently start feeling ill.
Temperature's 97.9 degrees Fahrenheit. No, I'm sure it'll go up. Seriously, I need to lie down.
While he lay there, I'd be taking care of Riley, who had already recovered, and preparing dinner.
Noodle for dinner? I wanted something more filling like fried chicken or grilled pork. Oh, just give me some instant soup. It's just heating it up, right?
Even though he was supposedly sick, he'd complain about the dinner menu. It pissed me off, but if I called him out, he'd sulk for a week. Faking sick usually lasted a day or two, but his sulking would drag on for a week. And when he sulked, he'd ignore not just me, but even little Riley. He'd stomp around, slam doors, and if I ignored him back, he'd click his tongue and bump into me on purpose. Ignoring him would have been enough, but he would click his tongue right in front of me and deliberately bump into me as he walked by. It was a troublesome behavior that seemed to require some level of care, needing appropriate words and kindness. Turns out, I'm not the only one dealing with this. Other moms at Riley's daycare have husbands with the same illness. Guys are just like that. Even though they're like that, without them, we'd be in financial trouble. And they are still the fathers of our children. Just keep telling them daddy's the most important person in the house, and keep them wrapped around your finger, my mom friends laughed. I guess that's how it is. Everyone has some dissatisfaction and anxiety they endure. Jacob's attitude remained the same, and Riley kept getting sick. Although my days were hectic, they were relatively peaceful. But then a major incident happened.
What? There's no money in the savings account.
When I checked Riley's savings account after a long time, there was only $1,000 left. I deposit $400 into this account every month. It should have been close to $16,000 by now, and this wasn't an issue of card theft or fraud.
Oh, yeah, I used it.
Jacob admitted.
I really wanted a motorcycle.
Jacob confessed, pouting like a rebellious grade schooler caught stealing from his parents' wallet. He acted like a defiant grade schooler caught stealing money from his parents' wallet. If he were still a child, a stern scolding would make him cry and promise never to do it again. But my anger and disappointment didn't reach Jacob at all. He kept sulking.
What? It's just a motorcycle. I knew you'd oppose it, so I didn't tell you.
Since Jacob showed no remorse, I demanded he sell the motorcycle and return Riley's savings. But Jacob shrugged. No way.
What? Why not? I don't have the bike anymore.
I was speechless. It turned out that he had crashed the bike in a solo accident right after buying it, and it was already scrapped. The bike had cost $60,000, nearly 4 times the amount he stole. Of course, the rest was on loan.
What about your savings?
I asked timidly, and Jacob stuck a pinky in his nostril.
There's nothing left.
I handled the living expenses, and Jacob was responsible for the apartment rent and utilities. We had agreed to pay for things like life insurance and phone bills separately, and save the rest for ourselves.
Nothing left. But
the rent's high, you know.
Besides, you're home more than I am, so why should I pay for rent and electricity?
He was shirking responsibility, and I felt dizzy, holding my head. Unbelievable. I muttered. Looking back, I should have decided to divorce him then and there. The next day, Jacob apologized to me, crying and saying, "I'm sorry. I won't do it again." Moved by his apparent remorse, I forgave him, saying, "All right, just this once."
Thank you for forgiving such a pathetic me. I don't need any allowance anymore. Nina, you can manage all my money.
Believing he had genuinely changed, I used my savings to pay off the remaining loan. As Jacob suggested, I took charge of his bank account and cards, and cancelled his credit cards and electronic money accounts. We agreed on a monthly allowance of $600 for Jacob. Of that, $400 would go towards repaying the stolen money, leaving him with $200.
$200 is barely enough for drinks, but I'm grateful to get any allowance at all. You're such a kind wife, Nina. I love you.